printmaking marks and photographic images, and there's a simple way to combine the two in your mixed media pieces without a gel plate. In this video I'll show how I transfer photographic images onto boards and layer them with monoprinted marks to make textured, layered mixed media pieces. If you don't know me, I'm Ruth. I'm an artist, teacher, printmaker, and I make videos from my tiny shed studio in Bristol, UK. I help artists deepen their practice through hand printing at home. If you want all my content straight to your inbox, then do join my list. The link is in the description below. You also get writing on art and heads up on new courses and lots of inspiration as well. If you would like to join my 10-week hand printing happiness course, which is launching in May, then also do join the waitlist. Again, the link is in the description. Right, let's get started. So here I have a board that I've been working on for a little while. This is actually a wooden board. I have collaged on quite a bit of tissue paper monoprint already, and it has a nice light area in the middle, and I would suggest that you do use a light area to do this technique on. Darker areas won't show up your nice photographic pieces. So these are photos I've printed in a printer. I've cut them out. They are like fishing huts. So this is just a normal home printer that I've used for these. And I've got another board here. This is a canvas board actually, so it's not wooden. And I'm going to attempt to do this large photo, print of a photo on here. I'm hoping that the dark bits of the tree will come out. This is an espaliered tree in a greenhouse. They will come out, and I'm hoping that the whiter bits won't come out, but we shall see how that works. So I'm going to put these on the lighter area of this board, and I've just got some acrylic medium here, the wonderful acrylic medium that does all sorts of things, and I'm going to just paint it on to where I want them. This is actually matte acrylic medium, so I don't mind too much about where it's going. It's not going to be all shiny. You might want to be a bit more, if you're using gloss medium, just be a bit more precise about where you're putting it, or put it onto the actual printout itself. Just put a bit too much on there. So like I say, these are printed out on a normal home printer, it's just that kind of print, and the ink or the toner, whatever you want to call it, will go, the acrylic medium will basically put it onto your boards. Now you can do this onto paper as well, but I would suggest a really quite thick paper, because as you'll see later on, we're going to be wetting it quite substantially, and we're also going to be pressing really hard into it like this here. So you'll need paper that can really stand up to a bit of battering basically. So perhaps etching paper or thick printmaking paper. What I'm doing here, I've just got a piece of plastic. You could use a plastic bag, you could use greaseproof paper or something like that, something where you can push smoothly over and really push into your printouts, the back of your printouts. And that is to push the ink or toner onto your surface. And you can see already that where I've painted the acrylic onto the back is actually slightly ripped the paper, so try and keep them as dry as you can. So this one I'm going to paint the acrylic medium all over the whole board. This has already had some acrylic paint on, and then that lovely golden colour is actually a monoprint that I made on tissue paper. That's been collaged on, and I'm hoping this is going to make a lovely layered, depthful piece. So I'm just placing my printout onto the acrylic medium, and for this I think I'm actually going to use a bottom of a jam jar, because it's really good for pushing quite hard down onto paper and not ripping it too much, because it's circular, it's got ridges on the bottom. So next stage is to let all of these dry completely for quite a while. And then what we're going to do is wet the back of that paper. So this is completely dry now. I've left this for about an hour or so. You could probably leave it for less, but I'm just wetting the paper. And let the water soak through, and then you can use your finger, or you could use something else if you wanted, perhaps a rag or something. And we're gently going to rub away the paper from our printout. And the water is going to allow us to do that. And you can see it's coming away, but it's leaving the ink or toner on the actual surface. Now you have to be a little bit careful not to take off your ink or toner at the same time. So it is quite a gentle process. So take your time, be patient. But here we go. I've managed to get most of the paper off here. And sometimes this takes a couple of goes. You might find then that when you let that dry, you need to go over it, wet it and go over it again. And I'm going to have a go at this one as well. So I'm really slapping the water onto this because I need to get a lot of this paper off. And there is a little bit of oil I notice on this, that circular area there where the water's not going, has got a bit of oil on the paper. So we'll see if that comes off. Hopefully it will anyway. So again, just doing the same thing. This is going to take a little while. Just rubbing with my fingers, and you will eventually you'll find, you see, it just starts to curl up and come off. And it is leaving some of the ink on there, which is good. That's what I want. The image is starting to come through. And here we go. This is the last of it. And you can see the image has come through, and it has really pretty much covered the whole of the piece. So even the white areas of the paper do have some ink on them, and that has been left behind. So we do have some of the monoprint surface showing through, but not as much perhaps as I thought. And some of that ink or toner has come off as well. So I quite like that. I quite like the unevenness of that. But you just need to be a bit careful when taking off. And I'm just putting some more water on. I'm really going over it again. This might even need a second go over. It's difficult to tell until you've just let it dry, but it may well need another go over with some water and your finger just to get the last of the paper off. But that lovely golden colour is showing through as well, so I'm really liking that. So this is dried now, and you can see that the actual ink has faded a little bit. So what I do is I'll often just put a little bit of acrylic medium over the top. Gloss medium will do it even more, and varnish even more. But what it will do is it will just bring back that darkness from your photographic image. So just paint a little bit over, leave that to dry. And this one's been done already, and you can see it really makes a difference. It basically darkens up the photographic image, which is nice. I've still got some of these bits have come off, but again, I quite like that. I like the colour coming through, so I'm going to leave that one as it is. It is not a perfect controllable technique, as most of them aren't. And this is, the acrylic medium is now dry, and that's looking really good. I hope that's given you some inspiration to start mixing up your printing, collage and photography a bit more to create some layered, complex art. If you're interested in adding printmaking to your practice, you might like to jump on the wait list for Hand Printing Happiness, my 10-week comprehensive hand printing course. That's happening in May. The link is below. Or if you just want to join my email list, you'll hear about it there too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.